Welcome to Living with Purpose. Every story here is chosen to inspire, educate, and help you become the best version of yourself. Subscribe, and let's grow together.
Imagine standing in the burning heat of an open desert. Your throat is completely dry, your lips are cracked, and you are outnumbered more than 100 to 1. Behind you, sheltering in a few simple tents, are your sisters, your children, and your closest friends. None of them have had a single drop of water for days. In front of you stands a massive army. They are blocking your path, demanding that you swear loyalty to a corrupt ruler who is destroying the core values of your faith. You have two choices. You can give in, compromise what you know is right, and live a life of comfort and safety. Or you can stand firm on your principles, knowing for a fact that it will cost you your life and the lives of the people you love most. What would you do? More than 13 centuries ago, a man faced exactly this choice.
He wasn't just any leader. His name was Al-Husayn, the beloved grandson of the Prophet Muhammad.
What really happened on the desert plains of Karbala? Why did a journey that started for peace end in one of the most heartbreaking tragedies in history? And more importantly, what does his sacrifice mean for your life today? To understand how things got to this point, we have to look back to the year 60, after the migration of the Prophet Muhammad. The Muslim world had grown incredibly fast, but with that growth came serious political tension. A ruler named Muawiyah passed away, and his son Yazid took over the throne in Damascus. This was a massive shift in how leadership was decided. Yazid wanted absolute control, so he demanded an oath of loyalty from the most respected leaders of Islam. At the very top of that list was Al-Husayn. But Al-Husayn was a man raised by the Prophet Muhammad himself and by his father, Ali, who was known for his strict justice. To Al-Husayn, leadership wasn't a tool to gain wealth or royal power. It was a sacred trust to protect justice, truth, and the weak. He knew that signing his name to Yazid's rule would mean accepting corruption. Refusing to compromise his faith, Al-Husayn quietly left his home city of Medina and went to Mecca. While he was there, thousands of desperate letters started arriving from the city of Kufa, in modern-day Iraq. The people there begged him to come and lead them, crying out that they were being oppressed and needed a just leader. Al-Husayn felt a deep moral duty to help. He didn't rush in blindly. He sent his cousin, Muslim ibn Aqil, ahead to see if the people were truly ready to stand for justice. Before Al-Husayn left Mecca, the atmosphere was filled with heavy worry. Several of the most trusted companions of the Prophet Muhammad begged him not to go. They loved him deeply and feared for his safety because they knew how unpredictable and dangerous the politics of Iraq could be. But Al-Husayn's mind was made up. He wasn't looking for a kingdom, money, or fame. He just wanted to fix the broken community of his grandfather. He wanted to stand up for what was right and stop what was wrong. The group that left Mecca wasn't a powerful army. It was a family. It included mothers, small children, elderly relatives, and a tiny group of dedicated friends walking into a completely uncertain future. Meanwhile, back in Kufa, everything went wrong. A brutal new governor took control of the city and started a wave of terror. Anyone who supported Al-Husayn was hunted down. His cousin, Muslim ibn Aqil, was left alone, betrayed, and executed. Out in the vast, quiet desert, Al-Husayn and his family kept traveling, completely unaware that the support they were promised had completely vanished because people were terrified of the new governor. As the caravan moved through the hot sand, Al-Husayn finally got the devastating news. His cousin had been killed, and the people of Kufa had been forced to surrender. In that moment of deep grief, Al-Husayn gathered his companions. He didn't lie to them or hide the danger. He told them flat out that their supporters had abandoned them. Then, he did something incredible. He told everyone that they were free to leave the caravan, step into the desert night, and go home safely. Some people who had joined along the way walked away. Only his core family and his most loyal friends stayed. Soon after, they were stopped by the first group of government soldiers, 1,000 horsemen, led by a commander named Hur. Al-Husayn refused to be arrested, but he also wanted to avoid bloodshed. He asked to just return to Mecca or go to a neutral borderland, but the rulers in Kufa wanted nothing less than total surrender. On the second day of the Islamic month of Muharram, the tired family was forced to stop at a dry, dusty, sun-baked plain near the Euphrates River. The name of that sorrowful place was Karbala. Think about the terrible weight of what happened on the 7th day of Muharram. The army completely blocked every single path to the Euphrates River. The camp of Al-Husayn, filled with little children and babies, was completely cut off from water in the blistering summer heat. Try to picture that scene inside the tents. Mothers holding weak, crying babies, children begging for just a drop of water, and fathers who could do absolutely nothing to help them. Yet, despite this awful suffering, historical records show there was no panic, no screaming, and no despair in Al-Husayn's camp. There was only the sound of quiet prayer, incredible patience, and a deep trust in God. The night before the final battle, a heavy silence fell over the desert. Al-Husayn gathered his remaining men. In a beautiful act of selflessness, he turned off the lamps in his tent so it was completely dark, and he spoke to them softly. He told them that the enemy only wanted him, not them. He released them from their promise to protect him, and urged them to use the darkness of the night to escape and save their lives. Imagine the tears rolling down the faces of those men in the dark. Not a single person moved. Not a single man left his side. They spoke up with fierce loyalty, asking how they could ever look the Prophet Muhammad in the eye if they abandoned his beloved grandson. They chose to stay and face certain death, completely driven by pure love for truth and faith. When morning broke on the 10th of Muharram, this tiny, exhausted group of about 72 men stood side by side, facing an armored army of thousands. Before any fighting started, Al-Husayn rode out on his horse, held up the holy book, and made one final emotional speech to the soldiers facing him. He reminded them of who he was, the grandson of their own prophet. He asked why they wanted his blood when he had done nothing wrong to anyone. His words were so sincere and powerful that they broke the heart of Hur, the enemy commander who had first stopped him days ago. Filled with regret, Hur rode away from the massive army and joined Al-Husayn's tiny camp, choosing his conscience over status and wealth, even though he knew he would die. The battle that followed wasn't a fair war. It was a heartbreaking, heroic stand of love against absolute cruelty. One by one, Al-Husayn's loyal friends, his brave brothers, his young nephews, and his own sons fell on the hot sand, showing unbelievable dignity until their very last breath. Every single loss tore away a piece of Al-Husayn's heart. Eventually, he stood entirely alone on the battlefield. Even his enemies hesitated to attack him, frozen with shame, because they knew exactly who he was. But political greed and blind obedience to a tyrant eventually choked out human conscience. Surrounded, completely exhausted, bleeding from countless wounds, and grieving for his entire family, Al-Husayn fell to the ground. In his very final moments, he placed his forehead on the burning sand, returning his soul to his Creator in a state of deep prayer and absolute submission to God. The tragedy of Karbala is deeply heartbreaking, but it was never a defeat. It was a massive, eternal victory of the human spirit over tyranny. Al-Husayn lost his life, but he saved the moral conscience of the world. He proved that some principles are worth more than life itself. This sacrifice carries a real, living lesson for your life today. You might not be facing an army in a desert, but every single day you face quiet choices that test who you are. For example, if you are a professional and you see unethical behavior, cheating, or dishonesty at your workplace, do you stay silent just to keep your job comfortable? Or do you find the courage to speak up for what is right, even if it risks your position? If you are a student and you see someone being bullied, left out, or treated badly, do you join the crowd because of peer pressure? Or do you have the strength to stand alone and protect that person? For families going through tough times, illness, or painful loss, Karbala is the ultimate example of resilience. True strength is keeping your heart connected to God when everything around you seems to be falling apart. Karbala teaches us that success is never measured by numbers, wealth, or power. True success is standing with the truth, no matter what happens. Centuries have passed since the dust settled on the plains of Karbala. The tyrants who used brutal force to protect their temporary kingdoms are long gone, remembered only as dark warnings in history books. But Al-Husayn lives on. His name is still a universal symbol of justice, freedom, and unbreakable faith for millions of people all over the world, bringing different cultures and generations together. The next time you have to make a tough decision where doing the right thing comes at a heavy personal cost, remember the heat of Karbala. Remember that standing up for what is right is never a losing battle. If this story touched your heart, Consider subscribing to Living with Purpose for more authentic stories and practical lessons to help us become better every day. Please leave a comment below sharing the biggest lesson you take away from the legacy of Al-Husayn. Until next time, may peace and blessings be upon you.